Clips. Alrighty, YouTube's another one of Kips Clips. So, on the back of what's happening with Brexit, with the so-called small print and Brexit getting read, the DUP being up in arms with this. If you don't know who the DUP are, they're the Unionists from Northern Ireland, and how could you say this? Very closely, a lot of them are of the evangelical Christian type, right? Very staunch Christians of the Protestant variety. And what I'm going to try and demonstrate here is how Jim Dawson direct feeds all these talking points down to his Knights Templar army, and how all of a sudden they're directing your attention. Like last week it was Hong Kong, and this week it's Northern Ireland. And the reason you're getting pointed to Northern Ireland is because of all the small print and minutiae of the negotiations of the Northern Ireland backstop, customs, borders checks, blah blah blah, all the technicalities, which everybody's up in arms about. And I want to try and point out how all of a sudden independent journalists and the Tommy Robinson movement, this movement they keep talking about, but they never really clarify where the movement came from. But if you trace the roots of it, it's the far right presenting themselves on YouTube as independent journalists and fighting for the freedoms and fighting for the truth. I'm a truther in the truther community. But when you trace this back, it's to the network of the BNP. BNP had its time. They rebranded and set up different new talking heads. They tickle everybody, different demographics on the internet. And as a lot of people, not just myself, who have looked into who's doing this, at the top of the tree of this shit in the UK is Jim Dawson. And then if you look into his links into a variety, the militant anti-abortion mob in America, there's the links with Alex Jones. He's a militant Christian. He openly says that. You know, his Knights Templar organisation is a militant Christian order, and that's not my words, that's his own. But anyway, so Brexit extended 31st. So Boris Johnson and the DUP, if you go and look at the news articles that have been out in the last day or two about what's happening with Boris Johnson and the DUP, and I thought this would all been wrapped up by the 31st of October. I still think the same thing I predicted is going to happen, but on the 31st of January, which will be everybody arguing up to the 31st of January, and then the UK coming out without a deal, a no-deal Brexit, but Boris Johnson living up to the Benn Act and the minutiae of that act. And although on the surface it looks like the DUP and Boris Johnson are like that, I believe under the table they're like tickling each other under the table, let's just say. And the DU leader suggests Boris Johnson unclear, so it's the details, you can go and find them out yourself, they're easily available. I want to point to the pattern I'm seeing. Now, what you'll see now is I don't know if these people know who's controlling them, where their messaging's coming from, so on and so forth. I really don't know. It's irrelevant, but the message they're pushing is coming from a central location. And now what you'll see is all these Tommy Robinson esque talking British nationalists all directing everybody's attention to Northern Ireland. So Ulster say no to Boris.
Had the great privilege last night of speaking at a meeting of United Unionists in a small town in Northern Ireland. The meeting was, to say the very least, tense. The anger in the room, the justifiable and righteous anger against the betrayal of the people of Northern Ireland, the people of Ulster, by Boris Johnson with his...
Now, you got to beg your question, why are all these Ulster Brits sitting in the UK in the Truth Movement? Thomas Sheridan, Richie Allen, Mike Robinson, to name but a few. Then ask a question, why is this British nationalist for some Middle England somewhere, by going his accent, I can't really pin it down, now going to talks in Northern Ireland? Right? And now what he's doing is he's directing your attention to the DUP, the Unionists in Ulster, Northern Ireland, being up in arms. So what he's doing is he's a megaphone for the messaging. Now, here's another clip.
Quickly, about the relaunch of the UK freedom movement. We start the UK.
Another rebranding of all these crypto fascists bouncing about saying they're truth tellers. I just want the truth. I'm just against government corruption. And oh man, like, people in the movement used to say they were awake. You've got to be asleep to fall for that shite. You aren't awake, you're in a dream-like fucking state. Very susceptible. And these people have got inside your head. And
UK freedom movement in June 2000.
I mean, who wouldn't be against the freedom movement? It's all about freedom, isn't it?
2018, and it was designed, and it is designed, to bring all the people of the United Kingdom together to fight for our freedom, our independence.
No, all the nationalists come under one banner. That's what they're trying to do. That's what they've been constantly trying to do. That's what the National Front, before, did the National Front get banned? That's what the National Front was, with all the remblance of the BNP. I mean, it isn't actually that hard. Isn't that hard to trace these elements back, the groups, right? Like this guy's just parroting Jim Dawson and the BNP's rhetoric. The whole truther community, 95% of it, cognitively, or just because they've got into the cult-like mentality, or just because of the media they're constantly consuming, and then if you constantly consume that shit, you're rhyming and repeating it. It's like the cult anti-Zionism. If every morning of every day you're out there bagging and tagging every fucking crime that's going on with the ethnic cleansing and genocide in that area of the world, you're going to be... And that's how these guys' propaganda constantly work. You know, they scour the UK looking for any brown-looking guy fucking doing any batshit crazy stuff, taking the mobile phone footage of it and then parroting it on all the wee networks. Anyway, so that's that guy. What's that guy's name? Richard Inman, right? So why is he going over to Northern Ireland? Now, let's see this guy. This guy is a cocaine head, man, or he's on that amphetamine shit, ADHD drugs or whatever, man. I get out of breath listening to this guy. He's forgot how to fucking motherfucking breathe. Right, so before you listen to him, get your breath. That's all I'm saying.
Had you taken out an insurance policy? Doesn't matter what it was for. I mean, it could have been for anything. Your house contents, it could have been your car insurance. It could have been, for instance, when you bought a white appliance at a shop back in the old days, you would get either a 3 or a 5 year extended warranty, where the salesman told you it would cover everything. And with a big cheesy smile on his face, you believed him. Right up until the moment that washing machine pissed water all the way over the floor.
See his wee script that he's got somewhere, man. He'd put fucking full stops in. But he always seems like he's full of marching powder and he's doing his
Fucked
cups.
up your kitchen, and then you went to put a claim in. And then they said, well, actually, it doesn't.
Right, he talked, I don't know, rambles, I think it was 2.5 minutes or something.
Northern Ireland, which I've been over there a few times. I didn't drive.
There we go.
However, these people are the most avid members of the union. If you ever take the time to drive over to Northern Ireland, which I've been over there a few times, I didn't
Is there a wee fucking convention happening over in Northern Ireland? Now, to get a greater grasp of the point I'm trying to make here, do your background history of the hundreds of years of politics. There's hundreds, but 500 years, half a fucking 500 years of the political struggles that have went on in Northern Ireland. Just touch base with it. Even just go and read the Wikipedia page, right, and you'll get a better idea of the point I'm trying to make here. Now, for the reason of the 500 years of history that's went on in Northern Ireland, is the reason that the people of, especially the Ulster, the Unionists, the Brits in Northern Ireland, the Protestants, they are very nationalistic, and this isn't by accident, it's by design. It's because the British Crown has relied on a nationalistic population to guard that area of Ireland from the Irish, right? And I'm not going into the minutiae of the wrongs and the rights and who's big and who's small and who's right or wrong. It's for you to decide. I'm just talking about the political reality here, and this is lining up. I don't know if you can see Jim Dowson's name up here, because this is where it's going, right? So here's this wee English nationalist doesn't want Scotland to be its own country, fucking anyway. And then he's fucking off to Northern Ireland for these little wee rallies. Now, I'm not casting dispersions on anybody, even people that are of fucking the far right and shit. This will always, these people of this persuasion will always exist. What I don't like is the shape-shifting lizards of the far right, who disguise themselves under all these disguises. Truth teller, fighting for paedophilia, fighting against corruption, fighting this, fighting the courts, fighting for you, fighting for your rights, freedom of speech, all the shite they hide behind. And when you scratch beneath the circus of these motherfuckers, it's all leads back to the fucking remnants of the BNP, the Knights Templar, Jim Dowson, Nick Griffin. The BNP came out of the British Union of Fascists. I'm not making that name up. I don't even think I'm getting the name right. But Google that shit and you'll get there, right? Go and look for the official, something Mosley and all that back in the day, man. Like, genufied fucking, I'm a fascist bastard. And that's where these groups have all came out of. And they use the same tricks, populist rhetoric, tickling everybody's balls, where they're coming over here and stealing our shit stuff. Because it's a very easy, a heartstring fucking game to play with folk, and that's why you can't. You can do whatever you want, but that's why you're a fool if you buy into this polarisation and start condemning people for falling into the extreme left or the extreme right. They're just extremely fucking under some other people, some other fucking uber villain-esque fucking intelligent cunts fucking mind control. And they think they're fighting for the right reasons. Look at the two groups of fandans that can bounce up, fight with each other, and then walk away and say, we're fighting for freedom, we're fighting for the good things. I'm like, you're fighting? Protest by all means, but why are protests now all fucking want to go and fucking protest the protests? It's just edging for a fight. And anybody that's directing any of these protests towards the opposite side of fucking retardationism, then question them. Why are you doing this? This doesn't make sense. You're edging everybody for a fight. Why are these two groups getting put together? Why can't you just protest, make your point, without aggravating fucking violent and fucking people's primal instincts? Anyway, so there's that guy talking about Northern Ireland and his wee visits to Northern Ireland, just like this guy's wee visits to Northern Ireland. And here's Jim Dowson, and you best do your due diligence on this guy. This guy's got his finger... Now, on the surface, he'll sit there and slag the yellow vests and Tommy Robinson and all that, but they're just little pawns in that guy's game. They're just little pawns in that guy game, and I'll show you. Now, the particular point I want to point at here. Now, Jim Dawson's from Airdrie, originally born and bred. That's where he was joined the Orange Order. Coincidentally, that's where Count Spunkula's from. Just saying. And he now resides over in Northern Ireland, where he set up the BMP call centre. Now, the reason I believe they went over to the BMP went over there, set up their call centre, is because of the 500 years of history that I'm talking about, which makes a high demographic of the Northern Ireland population very, very extremely nationalistic. By no fault of their own, it's just they wave the world in their neck of the wood. And you can't condemn... I don't condemn the nationalistic feelings on both sides of that border, man. It's no my fight. I'm out. Anyway, so they're preying on that already nationalistic vibe that's happening in Northern Ireland, and then they're ploughing all Jim Dawson's marketing and because he's a marketing genius. Jim Dawson, that's his vocation, and his speciality is demographics. So if this guy wants to push his points, he knows how to sell it to different demographics. This isn't conspiracy talk or anything here. This is looking at the guy's the own man's admitted CV. So let me see if I can find. No, don't want to find that. What I want to find is it in here, the money behind the far right. Right, this is just a wee powerful bit. I like to play. This is a wee clip. There's your details on the screen if you want to go and find that on the YouTubes. And this is talking about Jim Dawson set up Britain First. That's them bouncing about. They're a militant Christian organisation. Right, but the bit I want to show you is this wee bit with Jim Dawson.
People like Jim Dawson and his marketing company Midas. He doesn't normally do television interviews, prefers to stay behind the scenes. His CV, ex-Calvinist minister, organiser of Belfast's flag protests.
We fought back on the front, a dignified and organised way.
He cut his marketing teeth working for the militant pro-life movement in the States, then set up the BMP's fundraising call centre in Belfast.
You've got to remember, most political parties don't know their arse to their elbow. You bring in a professional marketing team. You know, I trained in America with the pro-lifers and all that. If you apply professional marketing techniques and fundraising to a political situation, it's a gift.
Yeah.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
And that's what we did with the BNP. Raised them £4 million, and then left them to it. So I was never in the BNP, but we did do work for them, just to make them successful enough to push everybody over to the right. And I think that has resulted now in the success that UKIP is enjoying. And far better UKIP enjoying it than the BNP, to be honest with you. But at least everybody's over to the right, a couple of notches.
Now he's back.
That's what it's all about, people. All this truth shite and all the different talking heads to appeal to different demographics, from millennial woes to Sargon to Count Spunkula to Tommy Robinson to Britain First, Yona, Red Pill Phil. All the shite that they're parroting has been fucking programmed to them through this truther shite, InfoWars, Ike, UK column, the rest of it. We all think we're thinking for ourselves, and this Jim Dawson sitting behind the scenes fucking and that is why, mark my words, and I'm going to be covering this tomorrow night on Not the InfoWars Nightly News. Make sure you tune in for that tomorrow night, and tonight for we talk about the Brexit shit. And this is this is the evidence and the players that I believe are manipulating a lot of this independent media. You look who the UK column are. I've exposed all this in my YouTube for years. It isn't that hard to do your due diligence on these people. Go and look at the companies they're setting up. Look at David Icke. in cahoots with all the same wee network, the UK column, the guests they have on. If you never wondered why it's all the same guests that do the rounds on all the same shows, never anything new, and they're always talking about the same kind of topics. And Richie Allen's just independent, but he just has all these people on that directs you in the direction that these people's wee network want you. Anyway, and mark my words, watch all the truther. I mean, like, if you go and tune into Richie Allen now or today or whatever, I guarantee he's talking about Northern Ireland and all that. Directing everybody's attention where Jim Dawson, his master, David Icke's master, and there's David Icke and his son doing another The People's Voice scam. Yes, give us lots of money and we'll get HD cameras and provide you with the best shit ever. Man, how many times are people going to fall for this? And look, see, the people that fell for it first time, they've probably so disheartened by the shite, they've fucked off with the truther community and they're not even around to warn other people now. Thank fuck I still am. Wasn't he vocal enough to warn people the first time, you know, was still shy and retiring in the sense they don't want to upset people. Like, fucking hell, man, don't participate in that fucking charade. But better late than never, fucking becoming aware of this stuff. Anyways, that's me done. So remember, as my new fancy wee ticker tape fucking line says, I'm digital busking, it's all available and accessible free of charge. I'm going to do such a good job, you will find value in what I do and consider using your spare change, not your life savings, in the Patreon and PayPal buttons down below. And a mega thanks to those who have. Thumbs up, share it on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, all the good stuff. Leave all your comments, good, bad, ugly and indifferent. And remember to subscribe and thumbs up and all that good stuff. Alrighty, boob tubes. Catchies. Kips clip.